Blue Blood Sports TV.
Shout out to Blue Blood Sports TV.
You're watching Blue Blood Sports TV.
Shout outs to Blue Blood Sports TV.
You're watching Blue Blood Sports TV. Hola, habla Cindy, está viendo Deportes TV.
We was really trying to get a right-handed fighter. You know, at the same time, we don't want to get a fight that's too easy. We want to have a little tough, little competition to get ready for Jermell Charlo. You know, we've been fighting all southpaws. And it's kind of like the Lara and Trout situation. Trout's not a slouch. I want to take a tough fight with Trout to prepare me for Lara. And I want to have a similar fight with a right-handed fighter to prepare me for Jermell Charlo. I heard Kell Brooks say, man, that, you know, Hurd's not that good, and if a belt was on the line, he'll fight me. So, man, I was like, man, listen, I got 3 belts. And if I ain't that good, you know, here's the opportunity for you to take it. But if not, man, we also could fight, you know, J-Rod, that's my mandatory now for the IBF. And for the WBA, my mandatory is Brian Castino. So, I mean, whatever. But listen, let me get a fight in. All I got to do is get back in a group of fight right-handed fighters. And Jermell Charlo, you already know you don't have to come looking for me. I'm right here, baby. It's a storm coming.
What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So I want to talk about another super mega fight that should be taking place. This one being in the 154-pound division, that being Jermell Charlo versus Jarrett Hurd. This fight needs to take place ASAP. You know, Jermell Charlo just finished getting rid of Austin Trout last weekend, June 9th. Jarrett Hurd, you know, he took the title from Erislandy Lara, and this is the super mega fight. They've been going back and forth on social media. They've been throwing jabs at each other on social media. This needs to be the next fight in the 154-pound division. Now, with that said, I know Jarrett Hurd was actually seeking out a fight with Kell Brook. Kell Brook had came out and said that Jarrett Hurd wasn't as good as he thinks he is, and he would beat him, and he would take the fight, especially for that fight being a title fight. Well, that fell through because Kell Brook is actually going to fight somebody else in the UK. Jarrett Hurd was also looking at Jaime Munguia, but that fight also is not going to be able to take place due to the fact that Jaime Munguia is scheduled to fight someone else himself. You know, now that just leaves Jarrett Hurd to fight Jermell Charlo. He says that he's not going to have a rematch with Erislandy Lara. Kell Brook is facing Brandon Cook. He says he wants to move on to bigger and better things. He doesn't want to fight Erislandy Lara in the rematch. He says that you know, he don't see it being necessary. He says that another fight he was actually looking at outside of Kell Brook would be Jaime Munguia, but Jaime Munguia is scheduled to fight somebody else. I don't remember the name off top, but Jaime Munguia just beat Saddam Ali. He said that would be a good fight for him to take on Jaime Munguia, because everybody feels like he should fight somebody his own size, and Jaime Munguia being a big 154-pounder. Actually, most people think he's actually a 160-pounder. He was actually rumored to fight Gennady Golovkin, Triple G, at one point. When Triple G and Canelo Alvarez fight fell through of Cinco de Mayo, when Canelo Alvarez failed the drug test. So now with Kell Brook scheduled to fight somebody else, now with Jaime Munguia scheduled to fight somebody else, now that leaves, and he says he's not going to do a rematch with Erislandy Lara, so that only leaves Jermell Charlo. So, and with that said, you know, this is part of the issue that we have in the sport of boxing. This is part of the issue that we have in with the Deontay Wilder Anthony Joshua situation. You know what I'm saying? We had this situation with Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao. You know, we had at one point in time we actually had this situation with Canelo Alvarez and Triple G. We had the situation with Triple G not fighting his mandatories, and he pick and choose which mandatories he wants to fight. You know, this has no place in the sport of boxing, especially when you want to grab the casual's eyes. You know, most people want to see Jermell Charlo face Jarrett Hurd at this point. Jarrett Hurd says that part of the reason for him not wanting to face Jermell Charlo immediately is the fact that he says that the fact that he's fought 2 southpaws, which that being Austin Trout and then being Erislandy Lara. So he wants to get acclimated on fighting orthodox fighters once again. Well, here's the thing I have with that, man. That's what sparring is for. He said he wants to get live action with an orthodox fighter and get back in the groove with an orthodox fighter before he gets in the ring with Jermell Charlo. Which, you know, to each his own, but just in the sport of boxing, man, it's just no place for that, man. You that's what sparring is for. You bring all orthodox sparring partners into a 2 to 3 month training camp, and you get reacclimated with fighting all orthodox fighters. You know, that's what sparring is for. You know, that's like he says that that's Austin Trout kind of set him up to get ready for Erislandy Lara. You know, but Austin Trout was no slouch, which he said that he another thing he said was he don't want a light touch orthodox fighter. He just don't want Jermell Charlo next. He says that he prefer to get a fight with Julian J. Rock Williams or someone else before he gets in the fight. Somebody with that status, an orthodox fighter, to prepare him for Jermell Charlo, which I think is, you know, at this point is kind of ridiculous when you're at the top of the sport and you're just coming off of 2 of the biggest wins in your career. Now that you need to have live action with an orthodox fighter, you know, usually people says this, it's the other way around. You know, they want to get acclimated to fighting a southpaw because southpaws are very rare, you know. And no doubt that he's probably had a lot of sparring with southpaws, and no doubt, you know, he fought Austin Trout, no pun intended, and he fought Erislandy Lara, who were both southpaws, who were very slick southpaw type of fighters. But now he's saying, you know, usually people say that they need to get southpaw. They like to have a southpaw, you know, tune-up fight before they get in the ring with a southpaw of, you know, a Manny Pacquiao, or Erislandy Lara, you know, those type of fighters, which is understandable because southpaw is very hard to come by. But when you're saying orthodox fighter, you've been training against and fighting against orthodox fighters most of your career. So why do you need to go through a whole training camp and then have a fight with an orthodox fighter before you get in the ring with Jermell Charlo, who's an orthodox fighter? You know, I would prefer him just say, listen, I want a tune-up fight. I just came off of 2 big victories. I want a tune-up fight. Then I'll get in the ring with Jermell Charlo. But he's not even saying that. He's saying that he wants to get in the ring with Julian J. Rock Williams. So if you're going to get in the ring with somebody as dangerous as Julian J. Rock Williams, then you might as well just get in there with Jermell Charlo, because we saw Jermell Charlo, who's a bigger fighter and at one point in time was the bigger puncher out of the 2. We saw him have a rough, tough fight with Julian J. Rock Williams, which there was a lot of storyline behind. At one point they thought that Jermell Charlo was actually ducking J. Rock Williams, and then he gets in the ring and J. Rock was landing big shots, man. He only lost 1 fight, and that was to Jermell Charlo, whom Jermell Charlo stopped him, you know, via vicious uppercut, man. Go check that out if you haven't seen it. Jermell Charlo versus J. Rock Williams. That was a vicious knockout, man. But he said he'd rather fight J. Rock Williams before getting there with Jermell Charlo. I you know, in my opinion, I beg to differ. You might as well just get in there with Jermell Charlo if you're gonna get in there with J. Rock Williams, because it's a possibility that you could lose to J. Rock Williams, because J. Rock Williams is nobody's light touch. You know, he just coming off a big victory himself. You know, so choosing J. Rock Williams could really upset the apple cart, in my opinion. You know, but that's all I got, man. So Jarrett Hurd is saying that he's not going to fight Jermell Charlo next. He wants a tune-up fight, an orthodox fighter, to get him prepared for Jermell Charlo next. He's not going straight into Jermell Charlo after fighting 2 southpaws. He says it's possible that he could face Julian J. Rock Williams, which I don't mind seeing. That'd be a hell of a fight, but I just would prefer to see Jarrett Hurd defend those titles and be a unification type of bout with Jermell Charlo over fighting J. Rock Williams, who could upset the apple cart, because Julian J. Rock Williams only has 1 loss, that being to Jermell Charlo. So Let me know what y'all think. That's all I got. It's your boy Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon, get all new notification. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV. Y'all already know what it is. Shout outs to the LDBC. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Black Media Row. Y'all already know what it is. Drop a comment in the comment section. Make sure y'all hit that like button. It's your boy Blue. Make sure you subscribe. Peace.
To Blue Blood Sport TV, baby, from the Empress. Much love.